and they're going to pick at the bones. And at the end of the day, the people invested in the bank are going to be the losers, but not the depositors, hopefully. But the depositors might not get their 100% back.
I think they announced something that they would get it back, but just a matter of how. And the thing is that since the government took over the bank, like funds are frozen right
The
now.
government didn't take over the bank yet.
It closed. Everything is under the CEO.
No, they're
doesn't have
doing like a
power.
fire sale.
The CEO doesn't have power.
I've heard that they're raising funds and then the bank is going to be dissolved and all the assets are going to be sold. It's going to be like a
Under the
bankruptcy.
guidance of the government. The government, nothing is happening without the government.
We're going to need to get back to this because this is like a developing story. We're going to see honestly, a lot of things are going to happen Monday.
On Monday.
Is this going to be so? The worst case scenario is a lot of people go to their banks.
So
and how many other banks are over leveraged?
So how this affects crypto is like USDC Circle had some part of their money reserves in with the bank that are frozen, and people got scared, and so USDC started depegging. People started trying to convert their USDC to USDT Tether. People got screwed over not looking at liquidity.
This was all right. So this was the tweet though. Let's just get it out of the way because it was a random story. I think it's real.
Yeah.
So
it's on chain.
You can find on I'm looking at Alex J. Mingala, Alex Jim the Blue Roo, but there's a lot of people showing this story. There was someone who was trying to swap out and then they didn't do
they panicked. And so they didn't set their slippage correctly.
Yeah, you want to just read it off?
He neglected his slippage correctly and hit send. And in this Uniswap pool, pairing, Curve, 3Curve, and USDC, the pool didn't have any liquidity, only had $2 of liquidity, and wasn't active for 251 days. So he panic sold, all $2 million worth of CRV, and he only got 54,182 units of USDC, which was worth about 5 cents. So he just lost basically $2 million.
And then what this guy did is that the way that these transactions work, and I think that crypto is such a great way to learn about markets, is when there's pools of two assets. It's not an efficient market because there's pools on all these different exchanges. So if you're in the pool in like some illiquid exchange and you're like, I've got $2 million worth of Curve, but I want to swap it to USDC. Okay, but what's on the other side? Like a couple dollars of dollars? Like if you trade it on the open markets, that's fine. But you're in this one random pool because that's how actually trades work, is like who's providing liquidity, who's providing both sides of the token. And that's what staking is. Exactly. And then that's what this is like. We've come back full circle to what we started with, where the idea of impermanent loss. Look, man, if everybody has Bitcoin and everybody has dollars, then you can trade it freely. But if there's no Bitcoin that anybody wants to sell and you're trying to just get rid of all your dollars, you're not going to get any Bitcoin because you're in some weird, imagine that these pools are like weird trading alleys. And then you stake both sides and then one side gets sucked up and you're like, all right, well, I gave a lot of Bitcoin and dollars and hopefully I'll get rewards for being a liquidity provider. And then it's like, well, Bitcoin went to shit. Everyone's in dollars now. And so you have some dollars, you have more dollars than you started with, but your Bitcoin's gone because it's worth more. Or the flip side. And I mean, I might have done that explanation backwards, but that's the idea of impermanent losses. To trade, you need both sides. And then these markets are.
Yeah, there's a formula. It's like, X times whatever, XY equals whatever. But first, that so